Hello, nerd and nerd adjacent. I'm Dan, the wall is green, I'm flower themed, and welcome to my corner of the internet. Hi, and welcome to another segment of I Have Feelings, where I sit down and I vomit my thoughts and feelings about a particular controversial topic related to or about LARPing. If you are not understand that I am in fact a human being with sentient thoughts, skip it. Skip the whole series. This one is an academic article because I can't not research things, apparently. So sit down and hold on to the wild ride that you're about to go on Immersion. Immersion is a lie. Okay, perhaps I'm being a bit dramatic, but hey, you're still here. Immersion is cool, but it's not necessary to have success in LARP. Yeah, but isn't it the coolest to pretend to be a wizard in a real castle? Well, yeah, it's cool, but it isn't necessary. What is immersion anyhow? Immersion refers to the state of mind when a player does not need to actively suspend disbelief in the fictional universe and where role-playing flows as naturally and as easily as if you really were the character. Emphasis mine, of course. This is a commonly agreed upon definition by LARP researchers and scholars, so that's the definition that I'm referring to. But even more specifically than that, we can speak on immersion into the environment, or exploring and rendering realistic the different aspects of an alternative world, whether physical, mental, or virtual. But what is genre? Genre, according to Merriam-Webster, is a category of artistic, musical, or literary composition characterized by a particular style, form, or content. The origins of the word are French, which is based in Latin. It's related closely to genus because they both indicate that everything in a particular category belongs to the same family and thus has the same origins. This is where it comes into play. Genre only dictates what we as creators or players consider to be immersive into the world. LARP pushes on people's suspension of disbelief. Imagination is the LARPer's greatest tool. It turns foam into steel and a clearing in a forest into a ritual circle. It is the rose-tinted glasses sometimes needed in LARP to suspend disbelief. And tinted glasses can in fact add splendor where there might be the mundane. See? The Emerald City glasses in The Wonderful Wizard of Oz for a good example. It's nice, but it's not the end-all be-all it's often made out to be. In fact, it can be a bit of a barrier. If you're only allowed to be a wizard at a castle, the cost of those kinds of high-budget location LARPs, especially those blockbuster-style ones, are huge, especially when you add travel costs and definitely not within everyone's budget range. Even a local LARP in a mundane location, but transformed into a different world with props and set dressings is going to cost extra money that is transferred, at least partially, to the participant and reflected in the cost. LARP should be an experience that everyone who wants to can experience. And that's why I study LARP. That's why I have this one sentence that kind of summarizes my entire reasons of why I do LARP and why I study LARP and why I exist here on the internet. And it's because not every LARP is for everybody, but there should be room for everybody in LARP. So that includes breaking down barriers like cost and location to include everyone, although that's another full topic for a whole different video. Honestly, the origins of our obsession on immersion is most likely, from my research, taken from the Nordic style of LARP, and specifically Mike Pohjola, which I probably mispronounced, as in I am hard of hearing and struggling very hard to speak in my second tongue right now. At one time was pushed very hard culturally, and that's where and why I think there's so much influence in North American LARP. The Manifesto of the Turku School was written by the same man. And it does mention some interesting and viable points, but I also believe it's pretentious as hell and puts a lot of focus on everyone following the exact same rules, which I consider absurd. But if you'd like to read it, you can Google it, because I'm not going to link that here. The what you see is what you get idea, although usually focused on action and acting on the part of the participants, also plays right into the idea of immersion being the ultimate goal. And I feel this puts unnecessary pressure on participants to make their environment immersive, at a detriment to their own wallet books. I never said immersion wasn't important. I just said that it's nice, but it's not the end-all be-all we often make it out to be. Or to summarize, too long, didn't watch. Immersion is a cool concept, but not necessarily to have success or fun in LARP. So, if this was mildly interesting or you don't like my face, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And if you really hate me or like what I do here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when I put things on the internet. And while you're at it, keep scrolling, go ahead and drop a comment down below. And just remember, I'm a LARPer, just darker. Shit. Oh god, there's probably one more.